Before your enemies destroy you, your own mouth will. Before life breaks you, your own mood will. Before poverty traps you, your own money habits will. And before the world defeats you, your own mind will betray you. You are not losing because life is too hard. You are losing because the 4 things you use every day, your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind, are still not under your control. Control them, and your life begins to obey you. Ignore them, and everything you build will keep falling apart. Before you try to control the world, control the 4 doors through which your life keeps leaking. Your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Most people are not defeated by enemies. They are defeated by one careless sentence, one weak reaction, one foolish expense, and one thought they believe too quickly. Look at your life honestly. How many problems began because you spoke when silence would have protected you? How many days were wasted because your mood became the driver? How much pressure came because money was treated like a toy instead of a tool? How much peace was stolen because the mind was allowed to run everywhere like a frightened animal? You do not need a new life first. You need new control first. The mouth is small, but it can burn a whole house. A single sentence can break trust. A sharp reply can turn a small moment into a permanent wound. A promise made too fast can become a chain around your own neck. A secret given to the wrong person can become a knife in another hand. So before you speak, pause. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this the right time? And is this coming from wisdom or from ego? Many people say, I only said it because I was angry. That is not an excuse. That is the confession. If anger can use your mouth is not yours. If jealousy can use your mouth is not yours. If insecurity can use your mouth is not yours. You are simply carrying a weapon and letting every passing emotion pull the trigger. Do not be proud of saying everything you feel. A child does that. A weak person does that. A person without training does that. Real strength is not winning every argument. Real strength is seeing the perfect moment to hurt someone and choosing not to become that kind of person. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Silence is the space where wisdom has room to stand. When someone tries to pull you into their storm, silence says, I will not become weather for you. When your ego wants to prove itself, silence says, I do not need applause from noise. When anger asks for your tongue, silence closes the gate. But silence does not mean fear. It does not mean letting people step over you. It means you choose words with timing, weight, and purpose. A disciplined person can speak firmly without poison. A disciplined person can say no without hatred. A disciplined person can tell the truth without using truth as a hammer. Watch how much energy you waste through the mouth. Complaining, explaining, defending, gossiping, exaggerating, arguing, promising, regretting. Then at night, you say you are tired. Of course you are tired. Your strength has been leaking from your lips all day. Control your mouth for 1 week. No gossip, no useless complaint, no angry reply, no self-insult, no false promise, no story changed just to make yourself look better. You will discover how addicted you are to unnecessary words. This discovery may embarrass you. Good. Embarrassment is sometimes the first honest teacher. Then comes your mood. Your mood is not your master. Your mood is weather. It changes. Morning can be heavy. Afternoon can be clear. Evening can be restless. If you build your life according to weather, you will never build anything solid. The weak person asks, what do I feel like doing? The disciplined person asks, what does my purpose require now? Feelings are real, but they are not always wise. Fear feels real and still lies. Anger feels powerful and still destroys. Laziness feels comfortable and still steals your future. Sadness feels final and still passes. You are allowed to feel everything, but you are not allowed to obey everything. This is where many people fail. They want peace, but only if everyone treats them gently. They want discipline, but only when motivation is present. They want kindness, but only when they are respected. They want focus, but only when there are no distractions. This is not strength. This is dependency on perfect conditions. And perfect conditions are not coming. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. Anyone can smile when praised. Anyone can work when excited. Anyone can be generous when full. The real level of a person appears when the mood turns dark. Can you still speak with respect when irritated? Can you still do the work when tired? Can you still remain honest when lying would be easier? Can you still continue when nobody claps? Your mood must be trained like the body. You do not lift one weight and expect strength forever. You repeat, you return, you practice under resistance. Emotional discipline is the same. Someone criticizes you and you breathe instead of attacking. Someone ignores you and you observe instead of begging. Something fails and you adjust instead of collapsing. This is training, not theory, not quotes. Training. Stop throwing your mood onto other people and calling it honesty. If you love people, do not make them survive your inner weather every day. Say, I am struggling instead of attacking. Say, I need a moment instead of disappearing as punishment. Say, I am angry without becoming cruel. Emotional responsibility is not pretending you feel nothing. It is feeling deeply without becoming dangerous. A stable person is not a person without emotion. A stable person is someone who does not give every emotion the steering wheel. Anger may enter, but it does not drive. Fear may speak, but it does not decide. Sadness may sit beside you, but it does not build your home. Now look at money. Money is not just paper, numbers, salary, business, or profit. Money is a mirror. It shows your patience. It shows your fear. It shows your hunger to impress. It shows your ability to delay pleasure. It shows whether you respect your future self. Many people say they need more money. Sometimes they do. Life is expensive, responsibilities are real, and the world is not always fair. But more money will not save an undisciplined hand. More money only gives bigger weapons to the same bad habits. If you spend to escape sadness, sadness becomes expensive. If you spend to impress people, your confidence is rented. If you borrow to look successful, you are feeding your ego with chains. Money without discipline becomes pressure. Money with discipline becomes freedom. You do not need to be rich to respect money. Start where you are. Track what leaves your hand. Look at the small leaks. A bucket does not need one big hole to become empty. Many small holes are enough. A little wasted every day becomes regret. A little saved every day becomes strength. A little invested in skill becomes opportunity. A little controlled daily becomes dignity. Before you spend, ask, is this need, growth, or ego? Need keeps life stable. Growth builds the future. Ego creates a show for people who are not paying your bills. Do not let the world sell you identity every morning. Wear this and you will matter. Buy this and you will belong. Drive this and you will be respected. Eat here and you will look successful. Travel there and strangers will think your life is beautiful. This is the trap. Many people do not want freedom. They want photos of freedom. They do not want wealth. They want the appearance of wealth. They do not want peace. They want the image of peace. Happiness is expensive and it gives nothing back. Control your money by giving every amount a direction. Some for survival, some for protection, some for growth, some for giving, some for simple joy. But nothing should move unconsciously. A person who controls money is not someone who never spends. That is fear. A person who controls money spends with awareness, saves with purpose, gives without pretending, and refuses without guilt. Your future self is watching your present choices. Every reckless expense says, you do not matter. Every wise decision says, I am building protection for you. Do not betray the person you are becoming for the temporary comfort of the person you are today. Now, the deepest gate, the mind. The mind can be your greatest servant or your cruelest master. A trained mind is a lantern in darkness. An untrained mind is a wild animal inside the chest. Most people do not think, they are being thought by their environment. Their phone thinks for them. Their fear thinks for them. Their past thinks for them. Their jealousy thinks for them. Their social circle thinks for them. A thought appears, I am not enough. They believe it. Another thought appears, I will fail. They believe it. Another says, they do not respect me. They attack. Another says, I need pleasure now. They obey. But a thought is not a command. A thought is not always truth. A thought is a visitor. Some visitors bring wisdom, some bring poison. You must learn who may enter and who must pass. Sit quietly for 5 minutes and you will see the condition of your mind. It jumps from memory to fantasy, from fear to desire, from regret to anger, from plan to distraction. It cannot stay. It cannot rest. It cannot watch without grabbing. And then you wonder why your life feels heavy. A mind with no training creates suffering even in good conditions. You can have food, shelter, people who care, and opportunities in front of you, but still suffer because the mind manufactures enemies. It digs old graves. It rehearses imaginary arguments. It compares your hidden struggle to someone else's edited moment and then calls you behind. Behind what? Behind whose clock? Behind whose path? A tree does not suffer because another tree grows faster. It grows according to its roots, soil, season, and light. You are not late if you are truly growing. You are late only when you keep avoiding the work that belongs to you. Control the mind by giving it direction. A mind without direction feeds on distraction. It creates problems to feel occupied. It searches for drama because stillness feels unfamiliar. This is why many people cannot be alone. Alone, they meet themselves and they do not like what they have been avoiding. So they scroll, eat, buy, message, argue, dream, and chase noise. Anything to escape the room inside. But the room inside waits. Sit with yourself, not to punish yourself. Sit to see clearly. What are you afraid of? What do you keep repeating? What pain have you turned into personality? What excuse has become your shelter? What dream are you betraying every day while calling it not the right time? The mind becomes controlled when it is observed. What you do not observe controls you from the dark. What you observe begins to lose power. When anger rises, observe the heat. When fear rises, observe the tightening. When craving rises, observe the story it tells. When ego rises, observe how badly it wants to be seen. Observation creates distance. Distance creates choice. Choice creates freedom. Without distance, you are automatic. Someone presses disrespect, you shout. Someone presses insecurity, you defend. Someone presses jealousy, you compare. Someone presses desire, you chase. Someone presses fear, you freeze. Is this freedom? No. This is being controlled by buttons. A disciplined mind removes the buttons. Be careful what you feed the mind. Everything you watch, hear, read, and repeat becomes part of your inner climate. If you feed the mind outrage, lust, gossip, comparison, and cheap distraction, do not be surprised when peace feels impossible. You cannot eat poison and demand health. You cannot feed the mind chaos and demand clarity. Protect your attention. Your attention is your life. Wherever attention goes, energy follows. Wherever energy follows, life grows. If your attention is always on fear, fear grows. If it is always on other people's opinions, their opinions grow. If it is on discipline, learning, service, patience, and practice, strength grows. Do not give your attention to everything that calls your name. Not every sound deserves your ear. Not every image deserves your eyes. Not every thought deserves your belief. Not every person deserves access. Start with the morning. The first moments of the day teach the mind who is master. Do not wake and immediately give yourself to messages, noise, news, comparison, and strangers. Before the world enters you, enter yourself. Breathe, sit, drink water, move the body. Choose one clear intention. Speak no complaint. Touch no distraction until you have touched your own center. If the first thing you obey is the phone becomes the bell and you become the animal. If the first thing you remember is your purpose, the day begins under your command. The 4 gates are connected. When the mind is uncontrolled, the mood becomes unstable. When the mood is unstable, the mouth becomes dangerous. When the mouth is dangerous, relationships suffer. When relationships suffer, the mind becomes heavier. When the mind is heavy, money is used for escape. When money is wasted, pressure increases. When pressure increases, mood becomes worse. Then the mouth attacks again. This is the cycle. Break it anywhere, and the whole chain weakens. Control your mouth, and you create fewer fires. Control your mood, and you stop feeding fires. Control your money, and you reduce pressure. Control your mind, and you stop becoming the fire. Do not underestimate one day of control. A day of control is a seed. A week of control is a root. A month of control is a new identity. A year of control is a different destiny, but stop celebrating intention. Intention is cheap. Saying, I will change is easy. Feeling inspired is easy. Watching wisdom is easy. Sharing quotes is easy. The real question comes when nobody is watching and the old desire knocks on the door. Will you open? When anger asks for your mouth, will you hand it over? When sadness asks for your whole day, will you surrender? When desire asks for your money, will you obey? When fear asks for your mind, will you kneel? Every day you are making offerings. You offer your words to something. You offer your mood to something. You offer your money to something. You offer your mind to something. The only question is whether you offer them to weakness or to purpose. Purpose is not a dream you talk about. Purpose is the direction you protect. If your purpose is real, your mouth must support it. Stop speaking death over your own path. Stop saying, I can't. Stop saying, this always happens to me. Stop saying, people like me never win. Words repeated become beliefs. Beliefs become behavior. Behavior becomes destiny. If you cannot speak strength yet, speak silence. Silence is better than self-poison. If your purpose is real, your mood cannot vote on everything. You may say, I feel tired, but I will still work. I feel afraid, but I will still step forward. I feel hurt, but I will not become cruel. I feel lazy, but I will not betray myself today. This is maturity. If your purpose is real, your money must stop disappearing into temporary pleasure. It should build skill, health, stability, tools, freedom, and contribution. If it only buys comfort and appearance, your future will come asking questions you cannot answer. If your purpose is real, your mind must be guarded like a temple. Not every person gets to enter. Not every thought gets to stay. Not every memory gets to preach. Not every fear gets to lead the ceremony. Become difficult to disturb. Not cold, not numb, not arrogant, difficult to disturb. A cold person closes the heart. A trained person strengthens the center. A cold person avoids feeling. A trained person feels without drowning. A cold person uses silence to punish. A trained person uses silence to preserve wisdom. Do not confuse healing with becoming hard. Hard things break. Strong things bend with awareness. When life insults you, do not become the insult. When life delays you, do not become delay. When life wounds you, do not become the wound. You are not here to be shaped by every impact. You are here to become conscious enough to choose your shape. This is why breath matters. Not because breath is magic, but because breath returns you to the place where choice exists. Before speaking in anger, take one breath. Before buying from craving, take one breath. Before reacting to a message, take one breath. Before believing the darkest thought, take one breath. One breath can save you from 10 years of regret. People destroy their lives because they cannot create space between impulse and action. The space is small, but it is sacred. In that space, the old self dies and the new self is born. Protect that space. When someone provokes you, they reveal your untrained places. When money tempts you, it reveals your relationship with emptiness. When your mood collapses, it reveals where you placed your stability. When your mind attacks you, it reveals what you have repeated too long. Everything is training when you stop seeing life as punishment. But do not use wisdom as performance. Do not sit quietly for 10 minutes and then continue lying, wasting, shouting, blaming, and spending without awareness. Practice must enter the mouth. Practice must enter the wallet. Practice must enter the schedule. Practice must enter the way you behave when tired. The truth of your discipline is found under pressure. Anyone can sound wise in peace. Show your wisdom when disrespected. Show your discipline when tempted. Show your patience when delayed. Show your humility when praised. Show your control when you have the power to hurt someone and choose not to. If you fail, do not create drama. See it, correct it, continue. Shame wastes time. Excuses waste time. Self-hatred wastes time. Learn and return. A warrior does not sit in the mud arguing with the mud. He stands, cleans his hands and walks. Do not build an identity around your mistakes. You made them. You are not required to become them. But also do not pretend mistakes have no consequences. The uncontrolled mouth costs trust. The uncontrolled mood costs respect. The uncontrolled money costs freedom. The uncontrolled mind costs peace. Consequences are teachers with sharp voices. Listen before life speaks louder. Some people change only when everything breaks. Do not be one of them. Do not wait for the relationship to die before controlling your mouth. Do not wait for debt to bury you before controlling your money. Do not wait for anxiety to dominate you before training your mind. Do not wait for people to leave before becoming emotionally responsible. Train early. Train quietly. Train daily. No applause is needed. The strongest changes are invisible at first. Nobody sees you not sending the angry message. Nobody sees you walking past the thing you wanted to buy. Nobody sees you breathing through the mood instead of obeying it. Nobody sees you sitting with your mind when it wants escape. But invisible victories create visible transformation. One day people will say, "You changed." They will think it happened suddenly. It did not. It happened in moments they never saw. It happened when you swallowed the insult instead of returning it. It happened when you kept a promise to yourself on a weekday. It happened when you chose savings over display. It happened when you stopped believing every cruel thought. It happened when you became tired of being controlled. There is pain in discipline